Hi and welcome to Edge of Play's Back to the Tactics board. In today's video I'm looking at the 1-2-3 formation in 7-a-side. I'll look at some of the key strengths of this formation, but also look at some of the issues you may face when using it as well. Here the players are in the 1-2-3 formation for 7-a-side. I'll start off by looking at the features. Well, you can see straight away that you're very attacking. You've got three up front, so it's very much front foot. You can put a team under a lot of pressure with this formation, and you have lots of forward options. So looking at the idea of being able to press, you've got on one side here a unit which could press this side here if the ball's in this corner. 3 players, 1 pressure on ball, number 5 there, backed up by number 7, just off the shoulder, making good angle, trying to make play predictable and read what's going to happen next. And then you've got your number 4 here, your side midfielder, who can just be in that little passing lane which a player might try to play through. So you've got quite a good setup there for a press. And then you go the other way and you've got this unit of 3 which can press on the other side. So it could be quite a good setup for pressing here. But I think the key thing is that having 3 up front, when you've got the ball from your keeper, from your defender, from either midfielder, they've got 3 options looking forwards, left, right and centre. And that's quite hard for an opposition to try and counteract. But it is all about, can you get the ball there? Because you've got 3 outfield players in this half and 3 in this half. You might be outnumbered at the back. You might be trying to play the ball out at least man on man, and you're trying to get the ball forwards, and that might be difficult. So it does very much lend this system to fast attacks. If 2's pulled into this channel to receive the ball, they have got the midfield option, but they can't bounce the ball up this way, so you could get penned in to this side of the pitch quite easily if a team put you under pressure well and press well. So it may be that you're just getting the ball forward early in here and forward in here. I would say it does lend to fast attacks then and direct play from the back, getting the ball forward early. This thing as well, you may have one defender, which I'll come on to more later, but the whole thing of having 3 up front, if you can get an opposition turning and get on the front foot, you can make it very hard for them to get out. So even though they may have spaces to exploit either side of your defender, it's a very attacking shape, you might make it very difficult for a team to get out of their own half, out of this area, just by sheer numbers in that half. It can just be about getting momentum in the game. So if you get momentum with this formation, then you might never relent on that at all and you keep it up. The other side of it is you take the gamble at a team play in and through you, in and through into a channel, and all of a sudden you're massively exposed, you may concede and you're struggling. All of a sudden having 3 up front seems like a luxury. So it's a gamble, but it's the risk and reward of having 3 up front. Whilst this formation does lend to probably getting the ball forward quite early from the back, if you don't exploit the opportunity and you get it forward and maybe for whatever reason you don't end up going for goal or getting your shot off, it could be that if you can make it stick, the unit can move forward, and you've actually then got quite a good setup for building possession in the opposition half. It's just whether you can make it stick for long enough for these 3 to get up and support. So if you look at some of the shapes you're offering here in this formation quite naturally, you've got this going on, you've got a diamond shape and a triangle shape, which is always good because that's the kind of patterns you try and get players to be in when they're doing possession exercises. They're making good angles, they're not square to one another. You've got options either way. In the case of the diamond here, all these different options. So you could actually get into an opposition half and kind of settle in there as well, which can also be a real benefit of this formation. Just showing you that here with the lines representing like the passing lanes you could use. And you may have heard before me talk about W passing. The idea, you don't want to be passing square too often, so you're unlikely to have a ball pass square in here. That's not going to come off. You'd expect someone to intercept that. But the idea that you can play the ball forward, you turn players that are in this area then putting pressure on the ball away from the ball, and they tend to move towards the ball. And that ability to play the more advanced pass, the forward pass and the back pass, and then the forward pass gets an opposition turning and gradually dropping more and more, so the ball can be worked across. If you're under pressure, you've got the relief pass, you've got another relief pass if really needed, to the goalkeeper. But you've got this idea that the team could have different diagonal passing options in the opposition half and really put a team under pressure, get on the front foot and just stay in there. Now I want to look at some of the challenges you might face in this formation. Well, first of all, your defender, they're going to have to be very strong. They're going to have to be very good in one-on-ones, good at delaying opponents till support can come back and help them out. To be honest, they're going to have to be quick, because you know, you can read a game well in a back four, in a back three, in a back two even, and not have the most pace, but you can just use your game intelligence, make the right moves, anticipate well. But if you're on your own at the back, they've got all this pitch to be responsible for. That's going to be quite difficult without some pace, without being able to get across the ground quickly. You're asking a lot of that defender. So, you know, you're looking at a strong defender, confident, dealing with situations on their own, and able to kind of deal with counter-attacks from an opponent, get into this channel, get to the ball first, because they haven't got anyone backing them up. They need to be to that ball first. Your midfield, whilst you have two, and that could be seen as a strength, the reason I've not really talked about that in the features is that because there's these huge spaces either side of your defender, the jobs for these two midfielders, well, from a defensive sense, they're going to have to be helping out. There'll be times when they're going to have to help out. Certainly to one side here, might be this midfielder's responsible for this side and this midfielder for this side of the pitch. So they could sometimes get dragged into a three, or at the very least a two as the players move in and out of that shape. So defensively, they've got a lot on their plate. There'll be times when the ball will be in this middle area, and a normal midfielder there would be able to go and put pressure on the ball, but they're going to have two minds because they could be a forward and a winger. So it may be they have to drop in there and then this player to send them down this side of the pitch. So it's not such a simple role for these two midfielders. And as well as this defensive responsibility, well, yeah, you've got three up front, but you've only got three players outfield-wise to get the ball to them. And a lot of times you'll be looking for your midfielders, just by the fact that your midfielders are nearer to your forwards, and it may be a junior side you're working with, it's going to be harder for your number two to find the forwards from here. So you'll be looking at the idea that your midfielders are going to have to get on the ball in advanced enough areas, being able to turn, find space, and they might be outnumbered to get the ball forward. Now if they can get that ball off, you've got three up top. You know, if you have the right forwards at that situation now, you could really get at a team and this formation will work for you. It's all about, can you get it to this forward three? Can you get the advantage you're trying to get out of the game? I think in this formation as well, you need clear defensive responsibilities for your forwards, particularly the wide forwards. Are they just staying up front the whole time? You know, if a team are keeping two back and they're going forward, are they just stood there? Or is it a case of the midfielders having to drop into here to help out? Is this forward then dropping into this midfield area? And the same on the other side, it's gone the other way and this midfielder's been dragged into the channel to help out. The centre-back, the central defender, is this forward working hard to get back in and shut down that area of the pitch. Without those roles and responsibilities put in place, you're going to get overrun very quickly against the majority of teams. So you're going to need your forwards to have clear responsibilities. And I think that's kind of linked to my next comment, which is that as great as this formation might be, you might have three on the attack, you run at the full-back, the opposition win the ball back. You drive into here, the amount of space that's on offer for them to attack is huge in the channels, either side, and all of a sudden you'd be all over the place in transition. So as even if the effort's great from here to get back in, the damage may have been done. So it's how you would react to the transition. Can you get on the ball before it's played forward? Can you prevent an opponent from getting that ball on the counter-attack forward early and wide early? You'd be really wanting to prevent that happening if you could. Thanks for watching this formation video. I do hope you found it useful. To learn about other formations for 5-a-side, 7-a-side, 9-a-side and 11-a-side, go to the tactics section at www.edgeofplay.com.